In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the new Delete Passes functionality. This tool, together with the already released toolpath trimming functionality, will give users much more control over toolpath quality, reducing overall programming time. In some cases, its area of application will overlap with toolpath trimming, but it will turn out much more useful when your unwanted passes are next to, or overlap, some desirable segments, when it would be very hard, or in some cases impossible, to sketch a polygon to trim your toolpath. It's worth mentioning that this new tool will not work on roughing toolpaths, where it may be unsafe to allow passes deletion, and on strategies that have their compensation type set to in control, where, or inverse where. To see how this works, let's activate a calculated toolpath. Open the Modify drop-down menu and click on Delete Passes. Here, you can choose if you want to delete individual toolpath segments, defined as the segment between two consecutive points, or entire toolpath passes. You can select individual segments or passes to be deleted by clicking on them, keeping in mind you will not need to click anything on your keyboard when adding further selections. You can also select multiple segments at once in two different ways. Dragging a box from right to left will add all segments that have been partially included in the box. If instead you drag a selection box from left to right, only those segments that are fully included in the box will be added. If you made a mistake, you can deselect a segment by simply holding Ctrl on your keyboard and clicking on the segments you want to deselect. Let's now look at how to use the selection options. As I mentioned, I could click on the individual segments to add them to the selection. Alternatively, let's say I wanted to delete the passes on this flat surface, as I want to machine them with a flat bottom tool later on. In this case, dragging a box from right to left would be the best option, as all partially included passes will be included in the selection. Once I'm happy with what I selected, I can click on OK. It's worth underlining that only the leads and links will be recalculated, meaning you'll save plenty of programming time, as the toolpath will not have to be regenerated. Let's now turn our attention towards these little unwanted passes here. The best way to select them would be dragging a box from left to right. This way, only those segments that have been entirely included in the selection will be added, while the desirable passes that overlap them will not be considered. If I'm happy with the selection, I can click on OK and take a look at the results. It's good to highlight that all edits are registered on the timeline at the bottom of your screen. By hovering with my mouse over the icon representing the original toolpath, I can visualize the passes that were deleted. I can also edit and delete any modification if needed. Let's now say I want to change a parameter in the original toolpath, such as the step over or the tolerance. Whenever a strategy is regenerated, any subsequent edit may or may not be replayed automatically, based on whether the segments that I had selected are still the same or not. If within a broader selection, even one initially selected segment isn't present anymore, nothing will be replayed. This means it may be advisable to apply multiple edits to different sections of the part, rather than working on the whole toolpath in a single edit. As you can see on my screen, if the edit couldn't be replayed, you'll see a yellow marker on the timeline, indicating that you need to take a second look at the edit, as it was not replayed automatically. In this case, I can right-click and edit my toolpath modification to reselect the unwanted segments and then click on OK. Finally, let's say I wanted to change a setting in the Linking tab. In this case, as the toolpath segments will not be impacted by the modification, once the toolpath has recalculated, I can see that there is no yellow marker on my timeline or next to the toolpath in the browser, which means that my edits have been replayed automatically, without the need to take a second look at the segment selection. Hopefully this video has encouraged you to give this new functionality a go.